He is just that. He's also a wonderful speaker, and he is a wonderful singer about the Mets. Validator number 3 is our very own Jim Sims.
First compliment I've ever received about my singing. Thank you very, very much. School is cool, and so are you. And we actually had a vote, by the way. We, by a plurality of like 9-1, we decided that you are the better half rather than a shoe. And you demonstrated it once again by excelling as a speaker this evening. You were doing Your Body Speaks for the Competent Communicator Manual. 5 extra points. You used the word of the day twice. In your prior speeches, which I frequently like to look back and see how other evaluators have perceived your presentations, you were called poised, confident, intelligent, and comments were made about your humor coming from none other than Frank Shea, who has participated in contests. I mentioned in speech number 2 your vocal variety, your smile, which was evident tonight. It's a very, very good technique, and it has to be natural, and yours is. I also suggested more audience involvement. I think that that holds true this evening. Greg mentioned that you're well organized, and certainly you were this evening. As far as some of the parameters of Your Body Speaks, preparation was there. Your manner, I think you were confident and enthusiastic. Your gestures were natural and evocative, although I think there's room for improvement as well. Your eye contact, did it establish visual bonds? And I think to a certain extent it did. Perhaps you could work on that a little bit more. I liked the fact that you make good use of the pause. People told me it's when you stop talking. I don't often use it. You used it very, very effectively. I liked your humor, such as you spoke about how excited you were to ride the bus. That really worked very, very well. Your animation, you became most animated when you talked about a show. So we do have to give him at least some partial credit, because that really brought out your passion in your speech. I liked the fact that you had your gesture with your hand on your left hip. I thought that worked really well. As far as some opportunities for improvement, you referred to your notes 4 times. I would put them on here on a table, maybe with 20, 24-point font, or even hold a business card so you don't have to go back hiding behind the lectern, albeit very briefly. You tended to talk, you used a gesture, you were talking about your daughter, and your hands were flat when you were saying that she loves school. I thought that was a disconnect with your hands being flat. You also early on had a tendency to have your hands clasped, or your resting position is clasped, and you resorted to the fig leaf a few times. Early on you had your hands, your fists were clenched too, but only very, very briefly early on. So perhaps more rehearsal, perhaps more in front of a mirror, that might be good. The fact is, I thought you could engage the audience a little bit more. I certainly could relate when you talked about a 5.5-year plan to graduate, because I went on to at least another 6 months or so when I got my 2.3 from Fairfield University. What did I like about your presentation? Much. I liked a lot about your presentation. I liked that you unveiled the speech title, School is Cool, about 90% through your speech. That's an advanced technique. That was well delivered. And then finally, that you had a very, very important message. Because unless you have something to share with the audience, it's just words. And you always have something to share. And you did that tonight, and you weren't loquacious, at least not in a bad sense.